As part of the research group of the University San Pablo Theory in Madrid, I will be introducing the paper The Agricultural and Historical Origin of a Urban Green Infrastructure, Madrid-Río. Madrid-Río is a recent green infrastructure which is a lineal park with multiple uses, intending to connect the historical city center with the less favored neighborhoods at the south. The aim of the investigation is to detect agricultural traces associated to the river in the new park. Several historic areas integrated in the new project reflect a series of uses inherited from the time in which Madrid was appointed as a capital. The methodology applied combines the analysis of historic cartography together with historical data and really elaborated plans. The findings are to detect existing focal points at the relevance, the footprints of former agricultural lands in the current park, and a broad assessment of the green infrastructures. The following index has been followed. In its growth, Madrid incorporated productive areas in its surroundings considered an historic urban landscape. These agricultural areas generated an immediate vision of the city, but also a peripheric one in a territorial scale. This image has been changing together with the exploitation of lands, making agriculture an activity able to generate and preserve landscaping, and so identity to the city. There are countless studies on this landscape from different overviews, such as urban planning, land uses, architecture, history, painting, literature, and so on. The different perspectives highlight the existence problem when trying to find a suitable definition for urban landscape, and particularly peri-urban landscape. A historic urban landscape included the geographical environment with its features, both traditional and contemporary. Historically, peri-urban Madrid was dedicated to agriculture and farming. Consequently, agricultural landscape has been converted in an added topic to the problem of characterizing the so-called proximity landscape to the city. The balance between urban and rural environments becomes relevant, as it was underlined in the Green Cities Initiative of the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations. This urban agriculture has evolved alongside the city, adapting to its expansion sociocultural habits from the Middle Ages to present day. Urban agriculture has moved from occupying limited areas among the historic buildings to a sort of peri-urban, high productive agriculture. Studying the city outskirts until the beginning of the 20th century, Madrid had numerous market gardens in its surroundings, especially near the river and its more important streams, including some areas within the city walls. Thus, humanized nature penetrated the city as orchards, gardens, and tree-lined promenades, generating a peculiar link with the other countryside. Another key element was a series of country estates, clustered in the nearby rural centers and along the main access roads. Overall, the surrounding landscape was characterized by large royal estates representing immense reserves of land with a relevant role even today. Until the 19th century, the structure of Madrid outskirts was defined by roads starting from the city gates, walks, and groves, the river and its streams, with was in places industrial establishments, inns, and other constructions such as agricultural and recreational farms. From the beginning of the 20th century, agriculture has been moving away, forced by the urban sprawling and the associated infrastructures. This has modified the way to understand the productive outskirts together with the city perception. Toward west, the territory that historically surrounds the capital has been the fertile plain of the river Manzanares, a natural and topographical boundary that have served to protect and preserve the view of the so-called cornice of Madrid. The natural northwest and west city borders are relevant vantage points, being a natural boundary between the city and the forthcoming urban areas, At the same time, the zone became a limit to the urban expansion in this direction, forcing the extension toward east. Not until the 20th century that some attempts were made to integrate the river into the city, including its channeling by small dams. However, in 1970 the M30 Madrid-Río road was created, flanking both banks of the river. This dual highway would distribute rural traffic along the different accesses to the capital. At this point, the bank of the river and the activity generated in the immediate surroundings were separated each other, and the right bank was cut off from the city. Architectural elements and historical gardens along the riverbed became disconnected, not to mention the fact that orchards, tile fields, and open spaces around the river would disappear under the pressure of the urban growth. Between 2004 and 2007, the regeneration of the area was possible after the M30 was buried in the section parallel to the river Manzanares. It was approximately 6 and 7 kilometers at the south. On the one hand, at a territorial level, it was possible to connect the green spaces of Monte del Pardo at the north with the river plain, generating an ecological corridor. On the other hand, at the urban level, the project tried to connect neighborhoods, incorporating and preserving the old link with the river. The Madrid-Río intervention was completed with its landscaping in 2011. It was the result of an international design competition. The intervention consists of 3 different landscaping areas, a pine hole and a link with the monumental city at the right bank of the river, and a band of gardens at the left. All of them are differently treated and longitudinally related. The gardened areas are adapted to the space left by the M30 undergrowing. Regarding the link with the monumental Madrid, the actual sector around the Bridge of the King and the Casa campo has been without edification because it was already a protected area, something noticed in the historic documentation seen. Traditionally, they were royal possession for agriculture, livestock, and hunting, together with service lands such as the Partida orchard and 2 nursery gardens, even today providing plants to the municipality. It has been recreated the agricultural origin of the Partida orchard, planting fruit trees around a former water course, canalized today and reinterpreted as a dry channel. The Madrid-Río intervention has apparently solved the problem of the relation between the city and its river. The urban green infrastructure remains riverside woods and meadows, as well as the historic tree-lined promenades along the river's banks. It also reinvents the idea of the former public washing as modern fountains. Overall, one crucial aim of the intervention has been the intention to erase part of the city memory, especially in the historic section of the river Manzanares. The urban green infrastructure has provided a new identity and character to this part of the city. And finally, I would like to thank you for your attention.